In Affinity Photo, all kinds of weird and wonderful shapes and designs can be created using brush strokes. I'm going to show you how to create super colourful designs similar to this. So first step to do, I'm just going to remove it and I'm just going to go over here and create a very basic circle, obviously stretching it out to become an ellipse. And I'm filling it with a gradient. So click up here, you've got gradient and colour. You could fill it with a colour, but I think it works best with a gradient. And you can use the gradient tool to modify the gradient, create all kinds of variations of that design. You can also, of course, add additional colour stops, modify the gradient as well. Next thing to do is add a layer effect. So I'm just going to go over here. So layers, that's all it is a layer. And just go down here to effects. Just click, and with effects, you can just go here to bevel emboss, and you can just drag here radius. And I'm using the pillow option here. And of course, you can vary the profile, direction, etc. But I'm just going to go with this. You could, of course, try 3D as well. And once you're happy with that, click close. Of course, again, all kinds of variants can be used. With this, you could maybe use the gradient overlay to create different colours as well. That's another option. Maybe combine it with pattern designs, all that. Sorry. Okay, now you've got this. What you need to do now is add it as a brush stroke. So if you just go over to the brushes, and you can find all of these panels in window, you can see brushes and layers. All you need to do is go over here. But however, unfortunately, new brush from selection is not available. It needs to be turned into a pixel layer to start. So then go over here and just go to layer and down to rasterize, just down the bottom, and then preserve, turn that off and rasterize. So now you've got pixel layer. Go over here to layers, pixel. You can now go here to brushes, again this menu on the right side, and go down to new brush from selection. So select that, and now it's stored away there. So let's just move that over. So again, go down here, new brush from selection. Anything that's selected will be turned into a brush stroke. So just delete that, don't need it anymore, and double click. And you can see then you've got this brush editor. So you bring up the brush editor, and now you can modify different settings. Now I'm using a mouse, just a standard mouse, and I'm just going to go here and size jitter. Don't want pressure, obviously it's a mouse, so random makes it easier. Push that up to 100%. And also you could modify this, but the only one that matters is luminosity. If you go for hue, it doesn't change anything. Luminosity, you will see obviously some variation there, but that's it. Also, if you want to scatter it across the document, you can go here for scatter. And also, if you want to rotate it, and again, random, random, and random. The great thing about this is you can go to the tools. Here's the tools, and you can select any of the tools. And I'm going to go with this one, paintbrush tool. So paintbrush tool and apply. And the thing is, you can check it out while you've actually got this panel open. So if you see something you don't like, you can see, you can then modify the setting and then continue. So now you can see, as I do that, it creates a very interesting, unusual abstract design, which is great for maybe creating backgrounds, overlays, etc. Now, obviously, let's just go down here and just so you can see it a bit clearer. There's the design. Now, what you can also do is you can use maybe layers. So you could go to layer and new layer. And again, go here, select the paintbrush tool and apply it. Now, this time it's applied to the layer, and you can move it around and you can see you just get that design, and you can resize it, maybe apply effects, hold down the Alt Option key and duplicate the design. And you can do that for all kinds of layers to create a very complex design very quickly. Now you'll notice if you've gone over the edge, you'll get this cut off. So you might want to try and avoid cutting the edge. So, okay, let's just remove, oops, don't go away. Got this design. I can also add this to a shape. So I just go create over here, and I'm just going to create, again, ellipse, perfectly reasonable, create that, and then just go here, paintbrush tool, and apply it again. And now you can see the design is applied to just that shape. So what I can do, go to layers, again, click effects, and then in here, I can go for, say, bevel emboss, and see what the problem is. It's not applied to this. what you need to do is select the ellipse. You can always select that. That's just the underlying design, which will now have that 3D effect applied. You can see the effects there, but you need to select the ellipse. So then go to effects and then go to 3D and change it there, maybe bevel and emboss and so on. So you can create a lovely 3D effect. Also, maybe you decide, you know what, I want some colour, because at the moment, of course, it's just grayscale, it's a bit dull. What you can do, you can go to colour overlay, so click there. By default, it's black. And I'm just going to click here and I can go for the colours. Now, of course, now you can't see the brush stroke, but you can go here, darken, dark colour, lighten, and run through it. Maybe go with overlay and then close. See, now you've got a nice colourful design, sort of a lovely filled shape design, which you can then manipulate further. So again, move tool, you can move this around. You can also apply effects to it. But to apply effects to it, you need to rasterize it. So I would suggest go to layer and then down here to rasterize. If it comes up, turn this off. Always make sense, just turn it off. I want it all to be combined and rasterize. So effects can be applied now. All kinds of filter effects. You could also use layer and go for live filters, but you can go for filters, maybe distort and deform. So in deform, you've got options here. Best one to use, and I'm just going to select that. Always forget, it's best to use it with the move tool. Some of the other tools, depends, are not so accessible. So filters, distort and deform. Pan always goes down the bottom, and then you can add some pins, and generally I add them just around the edge, but you can put them anywhere. And then with that, you can then just drag. And as you do that, you can see you get this lovely bubble effect as it drags out, and also drags out there, and drags out there, and so on. You can create, and also you can go outside. So if you just click outside, and then you can push inside, so you can sort of distort it like that to make maybe a sort of very unusual fish shape or any kind of thing. And also if you push it too far, you get these droplets appearing. So click here again, and again, you get these droplets where you get this gap, and click apply. Literally all kinds of shape designs can be created. So I think it's sort of like a turtle. I don't know. Looks like a turtle to me. And you can resize it. You can also go to filters and repeat deform as well. So you might find that it creates an additional interesting shape design, which could be saved to your assets. Maybe rotate it and filter, apply, distort, and let's go filter and apply a couple of times, and you get something like that. Now, once you've got this, what you can also do with this, which I think sort of looks like a person, I don't know, very unusual looking person, very alien looking person, but sort of, maybe not, I don't know, an ear, face of some sort of see through the body, maybe. Okay, so once you've done that, you can then turn that into a brush as well. So brushes, with brushes, anything that's selected. Now, I'd always suggest go there, let's just check, okay, layers, yeah, it's a pixel layer, no effects to it, so you can do it. Brushes, just go here and then new brush from section. So that design is then saved. Now this time, because it's got some colour in it, it does mean you can manipulate it even more. So let's just remove that now and double click. You've got this design again, you've got loads of options here, depending on what you've got. If you've got an art pad and pen, you've got lots of options. With a mouse, not so many, like random's pretty good, but you can also go with like cyclic. You can various things like this. You can change the pressure here, setting, profile, I should say. And you can see as you do that, you get different brush designs. And again, if you select the brush tool, you can then see that brush like that. Change the, let's go to general, change the spacing. You can see you get these pulse effects. And again, you can see as you do that, move around. But also what you can do, exact same as before, dynamics. You can go here and rotation jitter. So you can go like that and scatter Y. But this time, hue jitter. So you can go and fill it very quickly with a very abstract sort of alien landscape, alien sort of life form design, I think you could say that was, and click close. So you got this. Well, what you can next do is you can actually use this design again to create even more brushes. So it's literally a factory for producing truly abstract designs. And of course, you could also combine some effects. You don't have to have it just like this. Maybe again, go to layer, new layer, and let's just change the size. That's quite big, so I just put that down a bit and apply again. And you see now I've got these all applied to a new layer. If I go to layers, you can see I've got 2 layers. Go to effects, click there, and you can always then go for bevel emboss. And you can see as you do that, you can tweak that. Now you push too far. If you push too far, it just sort of doesn't look that separate. You can change that, soften, direction. You can see as you change that, I think that looks better. You can just start to see. And also click here, profiles. Got a load of options here for profiles. Maybe go with that one. That's always quite a nice one. And click close. So you've got now this lovely 3-dimensional effect. Again, select the move tool. With the move tool, you've got this layer selected. You can do this with all kinds of layers, of course. Hold down the Alt Option key and drag, and you can duplicate that design. So very rapidly, you can create a unique design there. Maybe go to filters, go with distort, mesh warp, and you can see mesh warp now. You can then stretch it and distort it. Let's just drag that down, maybe drag that over, double click, and you can add all kinds of warped and wonderful designs. Like just really stretch this out, drag it like that, and then click apply. And again, let's just move this around. You can see now you've got a very abstract design. Hold down the Alt Option key, duplicate that, and so on. Build up all kinds of complex designs. Of course, once you've got this, you want it all to be put into one single layer. You can select all of those, select all the layers, then go to layer, and then down to merge selected. And all gets merged into a single pixel layer, which you can then, of course, go and distort. Maybe go to filters, distort, and use some of these ones. Maybe use lighting, again, mesh warp, or let's just see, you can go over here again, you can distort this design. But another option I would suggest is cancel. You can go over here and you've got liquefy. Love to do liquefy with this. So here you can now just look at these and just stretch them out in different ways. Or maybe use displacement map. Displace is a real good filter for using some great designs there. So let's just drag this out and you can see then you get that kind of effect and click apply. And that's just using the forward warp tool here. Push forward tool, I should call it. Okay, click apply. Now this design, you could use this as maybe a great displacement map. You can save it, obviously a displacement map, and use it as a PNG file, but also just use it as a layer. So you can maybe have, I'm going to use the same image, so I can just duplicate this layer. So pixel and then duplicate. Obviously the effect is going to be slightly different, but if you've got other images, of course, go to filters, distort, and then go down here to displace. So displace, and then go here, load map from layers beneath, and you can see then as you drag this down, you get this really weird sort of 3D, like abstract, very alien world looking effect. And that's just using load map from layers beneath. So just set it 6.2, very subtle change. And you could of course go the other direction as well and click apply. And then you've got something like this, very abstract alien stone sort of thing. You imagine sort of the fauna on an alien planet. I don't know, it's like really stretched. I could see that as a really amazing alien skin as well, perhaps sort of, and you know, for any sort of science fiction film, that would be a great texture for a science fiction film. So that is a quick thing you can do with brushes, and literally millions of different designs. And I've done quite a few videos on brushes and how to create designs, and you can see with it, you can stretch it to distort it to create truly unique imagery, which of course you could make fit in with any actual real image, as well as of course just creating an alien effect like this. A like or dislike always appreciated. Also comments, thoughts, always great to hear from you with the video. Do you think this is an interesting approach, a different technique, something that you can see using in projects as well? Please subscribe to the channel. Also, always adding new videos all the time. Bye.